Can we just talk to you for a second?
No, you can.
Okay, great.
It's okay.
What do you think happened?
Mr. Jackson business.
You do think so?
Yes, I know so.
Why do you say that?
He threatened me on Monday.
He did.
He threatened me. Look, watch what I'll do. I'll have someone come kill you. He threatened me. He threatened me on Monday, and this is what he did.
How long were you two together?
We were together for 13 years. The relation just ended over a year ago. He cannot accept that I have moved on with my life, and he felt like he was going to strip me of everything. And I didn't allow it. I fought back, and this is what he's trying to do. He tried to kill me and his own child.
Why do you know
that? He threatened me. He told me he would. He told me he would have someone come do something to me. He told me he said, watch what I do. I have someone come kill you, and that's what he did. That's what he did. I know he did. There's not a doubt in my mind or my son's life. I know he did.
What happened?
I know he did.
Anything? Did you see anything?
Someone threw something through the window, and the house just ignited. Couldn't even make it downstairs. We had to jump out the window.
Do you think he hired someone to do it?
Yes, of course. I know he's too much of a coward to do anything himself.
You're
blaming 50 Cent for this?
Yes.
On May 30th of 2008, 50 Cent's house in Long Island was suspiciously set ablaze in the middle of the night. His son Marquis, his baby mother Shaniqua, and their two other children and the other baby father were all in the house at the time. 50 and Shaniqua were in a public bitter dispute, and she immediately pointed the finger at 50 for being the one who sent someone to try to kill them in their home. 50 was at a filming location in Louisiana at the time when he was informed about the incident, and he released a statement through his representatives. The rep said he is extremely thankful that everyone, including his son Marquis, escaped the burning house safely. He is confident that authorities will be conducting a thorough investigation for the incident and is eager to review their findings. The home had been a subject of a lawsuit that Shaniqua had filed against 50 earlier that year, claiming he had promised her a house more than a decade ago. But he was actively trying to evict her since she had another man living in there, which she had two other children with. At the time, she had a lawyer that was making some wild claims, saying 50 had signed an agreement that would give her half of all his earnings from rap, saying everything that's his is hers. Everything that's hers is his.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Almost 18 years later, nobody has ever been held accountable for that fire that burnt the whole house down. Back when that happened, I was like, this nigga 50 cold, looking from the outside in. I can see how another man living in a house you paid for would totally drive you to the point of no return. But to try to off your child in the process is next level psycho shit. We're talking about a successful mega superstar known worldwide. I had my doubts. So did the law, because they never brought any charges against 50. Now that I've covered a lot of unofficial 50 documentaries that you can check out on my channel, like the real 50 Cent come-up story and the beef between the Game and Jimmy Henchman, kind of makes sense now to rethink and visit some of the missing clues. 50 Cent came in the game engulfed in controversies. He has always been embroiled in both rap beefs and street beefs. He dissed Nas, Jadakiss, Fat Joe, and a few others back in 2005 for standing next to Ja Rule, another arch nemesis of his. He rapped about being shot 9 times during his feud with Murder Inc. and street legend Kenneth Supreme McGriff, even though no one was ever charged with that attempt on his life. At one point, people wanted to cancel him just because he was portrayed as a bully. So it's safe to say he had a lot of enemies that could have had that done to him. On record and public information that's out there, we can first look at Supreme, who was rumored to be the one who ordered the hit on him back in 2000. Even though Preme was never charged for it, he was eventually taken off the streets for unrelated drug and murder charges that were leveled against him. Back in December of 2002, he was eventually sentenced to life without the possibility of parole in February of 2007. So the chances of him being behind a fire on 50 Cent's house a year later, especially when prosecutors were probing if he had any involvement in 50 Cent's earlier shooting, and also while being incarcerated, were quite slim, but it's still possible. So who knows? See, another person who we know 50 had real smoke with was Lil' Kim's ex-boyfriend, Damian Ward Hardy, a notorious figure out of Brooklyn. Word that followed 50 and them to Jersey City after 50 dissed Lil' Kim on the radio, and he personally lit off a few shots at them by the DoubleTree Hotel downtown. Someone from 50's entourage returned fire, according to official reports in the news, and Jersey City police were looking to talk to 50 but were unsuccessful. Coincidentally, at the same time, Murder Inc. camp, Ja Rule and Irv were just down the street in another hotel, but they never crossed paths since they were unaware of each other's presence. Word was arrested in 2004 after being charged with 6 unrelated murders, and he had been sitting behind bars for some time until he was eventually convicted in 2015. He sat in there for so long because he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and they were trying to deem him not fit for trial, but eventually he got cleared for trial, so the possibility of him knowing and ordering the torching of 50 Cent's home in 2008 was very slim, but who knows? Another person who perhaps sparked my interest the most comes from the feud 50 had with the game, a former prodigy of his who showed no appreciation for what 50 had done for him to get his career going initially, and also went against the grain by saying he wasn't going to diss Jadakiss and Fat Joe, while 50 was putting the pressure on them after that Ja Rule New York anthem dropped. Just a brief recap if you haven't seen my other documentary of the beef between 50 and the Game and Jimmy Henchman. Back in 2005, the Game was signed to G Unit after being on Dre's roster for quite some time. The Game was and still is a talented lyricist, but Dr. Dre didn't really know what to do with him. So he put him with 50, who had just shattered records with his debut album, Get Rich or Die Trying, and also killing the mixtape circuit. 50, who already had Tony Yayo and Lloyd Banks, took him in as he was seen appearing in the club video shoot. They started working on Game's debut, the documentary album, and Fifth helped write the concept and chorus around songs like Hate It or Love It, How We Do, West Side Story, Church for Thugs, Special, and Higher, which were all huge successes, especially Hate It or Love It. The problem with them came from the feeling of betrayal on Game's part by not wanting to participate in 50's ongoing feud with Jadakiss and Fat Joe.
I'm not getting into it.
You're not gonna get into it?
No. Jadakiss is a good friend of mine, and I've had a chance to meet and talk to Fat Joe on several occasions, and I think that they're perfectly good dudes.
He also wasn't giving 50 any credit for the help he had received on the album.
Now, who are some of the key people, man, that put you where you are right now?
Man, Dr. Dre, man.
Right.
That's it.
Damn.
To make matters even worse, he was being managed by James Roseman of Czar Entertainment, who goes by the name Jimmy Henchman. Henchman was directly competing with 50's manager, Chris Lighty, and he took it much further with violence. Being that 50 was also from the street elements and someone who's loyal to the chain of command by default, him and Henchman were bound to clash. Henchman was doing a lot of backdoor activities, trying to capitalize off of 50's momentum, using the Game and dropping records without 50's consent. From Henchman's own trial transcripts, which I've covered on previous videos, his own shooter, Tef, who turned state witness, confirmed that he was trying to compete with 50 and Lighty by disrupting the chain of command already in place.
What was your understanding about what that problem between Jimmy and G Unit was about?
Jimmy dropping some records early when 50 was trying to release his artists.
Whose records?
The Game's.
Why did it matter to 50 if Jimmy dropped those Game records?
Because he's trying to get his money first, recoup his money off his artists, and at the time he's building momentum for his team, and we are going to use it. Jimmy was going to use it for his. On February 28th of 2005, the issue turned violent at Hot 97 when the Fed of 50 Cent live on air dismissed the Game from the group and the game and his entourage decided it was a good idea to storm the station while 50 was still on air. That didn't go quite well for them, as somebody downstairs at the building let off a few shots at the mob. As they were approaching the building, hitting 2 people from Game's crowd, Tef took it upon himself to shoot up Chris Lighty's validator's office that night, but no one was hit. What followed afterwards was a whole bunch of back and forth that are well documented publicly and also in court transcripts. Jimmy was going after Chris Lighty, while the Game was sending disses towards the unit on wax. According to Tef's testimony, he said 50 and the Screw spotted Henchman at a restaurant, and he was followed, but he got away zipping through traffic on the highway. And after that, he decided to ship his cars to Miami to avoid detection. And he told me about a time that he was at a restaurant and he saw 50 Cent. And when he was leaving, he felt like they tried to ambush him. They were following him on the West Side Highway and tried to pull up on him. And somehow he got away.
Did he say anything to you about what, if anything, he did after that incident?
He got rid of the car that he was driving that they knew he would be in, and he sent it down to Miami. In the summer of 2005, Henchman wrapped up his plot on Lighty and also started his character assassination campaign against 50 and the unit by putting up a huge G-Unit poster in the middle of Jamaica, Queens, 50's old stomping grounds. The Game even felt bold enough because of Henchman's backing to pull up to 50's mansion in Connecticut to promote his no snitching campaign, directed at Fifth while 50 was on tour. It was all disses back and forth till it was time for the mixtape awards at the Apollo Theater in December of 2006, where Jimmy and Yayo's entourages both clashed. Yayo and another 50 affiliate Maserati Fox backed Henchman into a corner, and Fox whipped out on him, waiting for Yayo to make the call, but Yayo didn't. That led to Yayo's Bentley being shot up that night by Henchman's affiliate as revenge. Luckily, Yayo was in a bulletproof truck behind it, and nobody was hit. In March of 2007, Yayo, on a quest for revenge, allegedly took it to the next level when he saw a teenager wearing a Czar Entertainment shirt outside of Henchman's office. The kid happened to be Henchman's son, and he was allegedly assaulted by Yayo and an associate named Lodi Mack. Henchman had his child's mother file charges for the assault, and Yayo and Lodi were arrested. Yayo denied he slapped the kid, and he got off, but his associate Lodi Mack was eventually convicted for it. By having his baby mother file those charges, Henchman was able to get addresses of Yayo's and G-Unit affiliates when they made court appearances.
Did you discuss with Jimmy a way that you were going to approach that rivalry with G-Unit?
Yes, he told me a way.
What was the way?
That he will deal with it with the law, with the streets, and through the media.
So let's start with the first one. Through the law. What do you mean by that?
That he was gonna have his baby mother press charges against them. What followed was a lot of back and forth, as highlighted in official court transcripts from statements that Henchman's own shooter Tef made under oath. Henchman added out for everyone associated with 50, which I cannot blame him for. Somebody put hands on his son. On the other hand, Yayo could have had his top knocked off in that Bentley shooting. So it's all just fair game when it comes to war, I guess. Henchman's main target was 50, but he couldn't get to him. So he took it out on Yayo and Baja, aka Monster, 50's top security at the time, both of whom had bulletproof trucks. Him and his associates stalked Yayo and Baja's house, shooting it up a couple of times, including Yayo's mother's house. They threw a Molotov cocktail at Baja's bulletproof truck and even attempted to do the same at Yayo's house to get him running out, as documented in court transcripts from Tef's own statements.
Did you ever conduct surveillance of G-Unit members?
Yes.
What did you do?
Go to their houses, get their phone records, get their phone numbers, and get their call list, incoming, outgoing call list. I would find addresses, go to their houses, stake out their houses.
Did you ever do that surveillance with anyone else?
Yes.
Who were some of the people you did it with?
Jason. I've done it with Jimmy, Andre.
Do you remember any particular times of surveillance?
Yes.
What do you remember?
I remember a couple of times I was outside Baja's house. A couple of times I was outside his sister's house. A time we went to Tony Yayo's mother's house.
Do you remember any times with Jason?
Yes.
What do you remember about the time with Jason?
A few incidents with Jason. One time we drove through Baja's block. We were staking out his sister's house. That was like their headquarters. Another time we went to Tony Yayo's mother's house looking for his brother, but we weren't sure.
I'm going to show you what is in evidence as Government Exhibit 32. Who is that again?
That's Monster, Baja.
Remind us. What connection did he have to G-Unit?
That was Tony Yayo's road manager and 50's right hand, the street dude.
Did you ever commit or attempt to commit any acts of violence against Baja?
Yes.
About how many acts do you remember?
A lot.
What period are we talking about?
From...
What time period?
From about 2007 to maybe 2009.
Can you briefly list the acts that you remember?
I remember sending one of my homeboys to shoot up his house. Sending one to shoot up his sister's house.
Sending who? I didn't hear you.
One, the same homeboy to shoot up his sister's house. I remember being outside his sister's house one night after they tried to set up my barbershop on fire. I remember trying to blow up his bulletproof truck and shooting it up in the house. A couple of things.
Let's talk about the last incident you mentioned with respect to Baja. You said you tried to blow up his truck?
Yes.
Was that before or after your trucks got shot at?
After my trucks got shot up.
Whose idea was this incident?
It was my idea to make him lose the truck.
Why did you want to do that?
Because I felt that they were untouchable, that they were invincible because they had all these bulletproof trucks. And I felt that was the only difference between me and him that made it harder for me to catch up with him.
Where was the truck when you tried to blow it up?
In front of his house.
Were you there by yourself or with someone else?
At that time, I was with Andre.
What happened with you and Andre?
The time it was blown up?
Yes.
We made some Molotov cocktail and he was going to throw it at the house. I was going to throw one at the truck and he would fire the shots into the house and I would fire the shots into the truck. We were open that I would hit the truck first and hoping that he would come outside, or he was supposed to hit the house first with the Molotov cocktail.
Who is the he that you are talking about?
Andre. And hopefully Baja would then come running out the house that was on fire, and then we would ambush him.
Lodi Mack, who took the rap for the assault, gets killed in September of 2009, right after his release. He was lined up by one of Henchman's own associates. This is what got him his life sentence. So to go back to the fire at 50's baby mother's house in May of 2008, the only logical person, in my opinion, who was actively looking to do anything to 50 was Henchman. I'm not saying he did it 100%, nor do I have proof. This is just my opinion given the fact that his tactics of getting addresses from court records, like he did with Yayo, him and his associates seem more likely the individuals responsible for it, since they were throwing Molotov cocktails at Yayo and Baja's house. 50 and his baby mother were going through their bitter separation, and 50 was trying to evict her out of that house. She sued him in return earlier that year. So whoever was really looking for 50 could have easily gotten the addresses just by looking at those filings. To be clear, nobody has ever been charged for it. These are all just allegations or speculations for me just looking through all the patterns and tactics he has used that are well documented in his murder for hire trial of Lodi Mack. Henchman was doing surveillance on a unit, getting addresses from license plates, and his team were blowing up vehicles all within the time frame of their feud from December of 2006 when Yayo's Bentley was shot up and 2009 when Lodi Mack was killed. The crazy thing though, earlier this year, I got this email randomly
from someone I strongly believe is either henchman or someone affiliated with him that was CC'd to YouTube as well. It was imitating a lawyer out of Brooklyn, saying I was making false claims and they threatened to sue if I didn't take the video down. Not only did the shit not make any sense, but it also mentioned another channel that's not mine, in which basically gave it up as something that was not legitimate. All the information I provided in that original video and here are official government court transcripts. This is tough statements. This is from his trial of Lodi Mac. I got everything right there from official government website. If it wasn't legit, then he should have challenged that and beat his case. Even YouTube Legal that they CC'd did not even take the shit seriously, because that's not how lawyers send official notices. But in all seriousness though, I already know the game that they play. They get addresses and shit, and I'm not going for none of that shit. Alright? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who was more likely to be responsible for that fire? Let me know. It's on Now TV. I'ma catch y'all on the next one. For all my peoples, man, that's been following the movement, I'm sorry I had to take a little break. You know, I be working like over 12 hours a day, man. You know what I'm saying? I do more than just sit on screen and do YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole life besides this. So, you know, I be trying to push out content every now and then. You know, I'm not a blogger. I'm not a podcaster. You know, I just like to do pieces, man. I'm into doing films. Like I shoot, like you know, I got a little production company and whatnot. So I be shooting stuff. You know, my little time, I try to do this, man. If YouTube start pushing out more of my content and actually giving me the credit that I deserve, maybe I might put out some more quality work like this, you know? All right? Until next time, I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Y'all stay in school, man. Oh, it's just for the kids, man. Stay in school, stay out them streets. Sidewalk. That's why the sidewalks was made, man. Stay safe out here. Crazy. Talking about I defamed them. How do you defame somebody by putting out official government transcripts? You cannot harass or bully a reporter. You cannot sue a reporter for putting out news. If I was making up some shit, then yeah, cool. You know what I'm saying? Fry me. But this is court transcripts that I'm using. News articles. You know? It's on Now TV. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Peace.